Hello, 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 beautiful people. How are you guys all doing today on this lovely Wednesday? Isn't it just lovely? I have not really been outside too much today. I'm not gonna lie, I've been cooped up inside, doing a lot of internal work and preparing for this weekend. Some of you already know because you guys are part of my Empathy Unicorn Academy group. And you guys know I am going to school again on this weekend, and it's going to be 3 day, really intense weekend of 10 hours a day in class training, hardcore stuff. So I am looking forward to it, excited, and at the same time, not going to lie, a little bit nervous because I know what it entails. And it will be life-changing for me. It truly will be. Those of you that have seen my video in the group, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And those of you that have not, you can go right ahead and check that video out that I shared yesterday about one of the projects that I just completed yesterday for school. But we are here today to talk about awareness and how self-aware are you or would like to be in a way, and your consciousness, right? I'll keep it simple because I know there's different people with different levels of awareness and understanding of this kind of conversations. So first I'll start with basically this concept of your mind being full of different things and different stuff, and your awareness is something that you can essentially control, because you can bring your awareness to certain topics and certain subjects and certain items that you love and enjoy, and at the same time things that you do not. So the mind is a vast of space with many different areas in it, such as anger, jealousy, hatred, envy, joy, happiness, arts, creativity, sex, food, love, technology, and I mean the list can go on and on and on. But by using the power of concentration and your willpower, you can actually focus and bring your awareness. Think of it like as a ball of light in a way. And you can bring that ball of light into any particular area, subject, or topic that you want to focus on. And you can bring your awareness to it if you want to, right? And this is where consciousness comes to play here, because if you are not consciously aware of where you're bringing that focus in, or what you're bringing that focus on, what you're concentrating on, and what how you're practicing your willpower on what, you will most likely be diverting that energy onto things that you do not want in your life. So I'll give you an example. Most of us worry a lot. Worry about things that might happen. Worry about things that happened. Worry about things that might happen, right? Or about to happen. And what is that really doing? It is actually draining you and draining your energy on things that might happen. Might is the key word here, or things that happened in the past that chances are might not happen again. But by us sending our energy into the past, we are draining our energy right now in the moment. So we have a lot less for us available in the present moment now. Or the same goes for focusing in the future and worrying about the future. We are draining our energy now from the present time, and we are not able to focus on what is actually important to us. And what is important is what is happening right now, what you are doing right now. Who are you being right now? Who are you with right now? What is really going on right now, right? So shifting your focus from the past to the present is going to be helpful. Shifting your focus from the future to the present is also going to be helpful. Now there's negative and positive energy that you can send that way as well. For me, for example, and this is where I understand all these things, right? And I can work through it, but it doesn't always happen on its own, because it takes practice. It's like a muscle. You got to work and you got to strengthen. So for me, I spent time worrying and focusing my energy on the future, focusing my energy on what is going to happen this weekend. What am I going to be going through? How am I going to be feeling? What's going to be happening? Who is going to be watching me? How are they going to interpreting what I'm saying, what I'm presenting, and everything? So worrying about that, it was draining my energy. But I realized it and I caught it. And what I did is I spent most of my days bringing my energy, my focus into the now. What is it that I want now? Not what I want from the future. Yes, that's great, and I'm working through it, but in an anabolic, positive way. But shifting the focus onto the now. So where your awareness goes, since we were talking about awareness, right? Because all these areas in your mind, you have an ability to bring your awareness to all of those subjects, to all of those topics, to all of those things. So where your awareness goes, your energy goes. Just like I said, I was bringing my awareness into the future. So my energy was going into the future. So therefore I had very little energy in the now, in the present. So I was bringing myself back in the now. And the other thing is, if it goes into, let's say, the angry area of your brain, of your mind, of your focus, what you're actually doing is you're strengthening that area. So if you want to get rid of anger, don't focus on it. Don't think about it. Don't send energy there. Shift your energy and find a different way, a different approach of how you can deal with it. If your awareness goes into jealousy, right, or envy, which is the harder side of the jealousy, then all your energy is going to be going there. It is going to be strengthening that within you, and you will become more jealous. You'll become more envious. And if that's not what you want, shift your focus. What's the opposite of jealousy and envy, right? I seriously ask you, what is the opposite of jealousy and anger? Sorry, jealousy and envy. Put that down below. What is the opposite of that? And then that is where you might want to shift your focus. And if you are focusing on let's say on hatred, for example, right? So if you're focusing on hatred, you're going to have a lot more of that in your life, in your reality, and in your body and in your mind. It will become part of you. So what can you do instead? You can focus more on the love, right? So I ask this question very often, and there is a purpose to it for me. And I ask this question with my children, to my children, and with my spouse. I was gonna say partner, and it's like spouse and partner. It's partner. There's a new word. It's partner. So I ask my partner, my spouse, why do I love you so much? Right? And seriously, asking that question, because I have the answers, but what happens is by continuing to ask that question, I will have a lot more answers. But and this is where I hear a lot of people asking these questions of their partner: why don't you love me? Or why can't you do this right? Or why can't you do this? Or there's many other questions, right? You guys can help me out with that one, with the questions that you perhaps might have asked yourself, or the questions that you might have heard someone else that you know has asked, that is a negative question but can be turned around into the positive. So I would love to hear down below, what is the negative question that you have heard or have asked yourself of something or someone, and then bring it to the positive of how would you rephrase that and ask it in a positive light. Because if there's a negative question, it can be turned around into the positive, right? Of more empowering. So whatever you focus on, like I said, if you bring your awareness to anger, that area of your mind will grow, and it will strengthen that area of the mind, and then it can become reality. So next thing I have on here is kind of basically talking about the post that I made, I believe it was 2 days ago, talking about watering the weeds and the flowers in your garden. And essentially this is what this video is about, because there's a phrase, there's a saying that water does not discriminate between the weeds and the flowers, right? Bushes or trees. It does not discriminate. It waters them all equally and it helps them all grow. Okay. Energy is the same way. Think of the energy as water. As water does not discriminate against any kind of plant that grows, it's going to water it and it's going to help it grow. Your energy, your awareness is the same thing as water. It will water, it will help it grow. Whatever you focus on, whatever you send your energy to, whatever you send your awareness to and you focus on, it's going to help it grow. And grow sometimes to a point where you might not find anything that is you no longer recognizable. And I speak from experience, okay? I had watered weeds in my garden here that were not necessarily mine. And most of them are not mine because I would not consciously plant weeds in my garden. I would take them out and put them aside where they do not belong, right? Let them dry out, put them in the garbage, burn them if that's what you want. I like to visualize things, and so when I, for example, sit there with myself and I find the weeds in my garden, I set it on fire. Right? I set that weed on fire because I don't want that weed to grow. And sometimes those weeds have been growing in my garden and they have become really tall, really big. That's because I was not aware that they were even in my garden. So that kind of goes back into childhood or into teenagehood or into young adulthood, or even, I mean, now I'm more aware of what goes in here, but they have grown into these massive weeds that have been blocking out the sun from the flowers, so to speak, and preventing them from growing. So basically bringing my awareness into what has conspired, bringing that into my awareness, bringing that into in the now, into the awareness, and like, what do I want to do with it now that I am aware of what has happened, and the assumption, interpretation that I have attached to, the gremlins that have grown from it, the limiting beliefs that have transpired because of that. I now have something to work with, because, and this is what I tell my clients as well, when they uncover something that is deep, that they don't necessarily want to work through because it is painful and it is uncomfortable, I applaud them and say, that's incredible. That's awesome that now you are aware of that. Now we can work through it. And how would you like to go about it, right? And I ask myself those same questions when something comes up for me. I get clear on what it is and then work through it and how it's actually helping me to be me and will help me to be more of me in the future. I've got to be mindful of the time because the children will be coming home. And I don't know if you guys have seen my picture that I shared in my stories this weekend, but I broke our door handle. Yes, Hulk hands right here. I was helping my husband a couple of days before that in the basement with the nail gun, and you got to put a lot of force into it, and needless to say, my thumbs have become quite strong because of it. They were a little sore for a while, so I went to open the door knob and the metal piece just broke off. So I'm like, oh, great. So what? Okay, so what do I do now? Now what, right? I actually have that on my mug somewhere written down. So what? It happened. Great. Now, what do I do? Now I get to get a new door handle. Yay. And just one side though. and that way it will not be, because it was kind of like sticking a little bit, not working properly. It would probably could have greased it, but you know what? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's in the past. Now moving to the future. So now kind of like back into this topic, and this is where I basically will leave you guys with. Whatever you invest your energy to starts to grow. So if you invest your energy into something that is positive, it will grow. If you invest your energy into something that is negative, it will also grow. Because energy does not discriminate, just like water does not discriminate, as I mentioned earlier on. So if you want to be positiveness, if you want to be positive, if you want to be healthy, if you want to overcome your obstacles, if you want to overcome your negativity, if you want to overcome your depression, or if you want to overcome your anger, whatever it is that you want to overcome, we all have things that we want to overcome. See what the opposite of that is. In other words, what is it that you want to have or be or do instead of what you don't want? Because if you're just focusing on the things that you don't want, what you're essentially saying, you're bringing awareness to those things, and you're essentially telling the universe, this is what you do want, and the universe will give you more of that. But if you focus on the opposite of what you don't want, in other words, if you focus on what you do want, and you become aware of what you want, because a lot of us are also not aware of what we actually do want, then you will have more of that. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful to you. Hopefully it has helped you. Hopefully it has given you some insights and some awareness into the you that you currently are, and maybe a little bit of understanding into the you that you might want to work on and become the better version of you. So as always, thank you all for watching. Give this some hearts and pass it along to anyone that you think might benefit from watching this video, or even put it on your own page and see what, and help those that are part of your family, right? Part of your tribe, because I believe in sharing, and that's why I am on here sharing all of my knowledge, all of my wisdom, all of the stuff that I have learned. And anyways, I'm just kind of like being distracted by messages from my daughter. She's sending me messages as she's getting in the bus, telling me she had a bad day and had just got a notification of something else. Anyways, so I am gonna go and have a chat with her and coach her through what she's going through right now. So I actually do take my coaching practice into my family and help them with whatever they're going through as well, because I believe it's also important. They have, anyways, they have their own ways of dealing with things, and I help them to get better understanding of maybe a different perspective, different way of dealing with things. But anyways, thank you again for watching, and I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you that has watched from beginning to the end, because it's polite. It really is. At least say hi, dudes. Come on. Anyways, have a great day, and I will chat with you all tomorrow. Bye, and thanks for watching. Again, bye.